Hello everyone and welcome to this lesson number 11, which means that we almost come to an end. So as usual, we had three parts: vocab builder, grammar, and key expressions. But this time is a little bit different because in grammar, we have two smaller parts. It's about going to and infinitive of purpose. So in this lesson, I will try to speak English all the time. I'm not gonna try to speak Vietnamese usually. So let's get started. In the first part, as usual, I'll give you some activities so you can practice and prepare at home before we come to class. In the first activity, we have 6 words right here, and what you need to do is you match them from 1 to 6 to A to F to create a phrase, some phrases, because we have 6, right? For example, in the first part, I'm trying to do the first example with you. So is credit. Credit, usually we go with service, call, car, number, day, or access. Okay, so number 1 usually match with the C, right? Credit card. The same thing can you do number 2 and number 6 for me? That easy. And when you're done with activity number 1, please go ahead to go straight to activity number 2, which is a bit, I think, is a bit more challenging than part 1. In this part, you are required to refer to our course book, page 72, to complete the task. So here, the thing is that I'll give you the initial letters, the digits right here, right? So what you need to do is try to look on the course book, trying to find the words that start with, for example, the V, and could make sense, could like match with the whole conversation. For example, I'm doing with you first. For the V, if you look through our course book on page 72, you will see one word, okay? That word is here. All right. So number 1 is start with a V, and good evening. Do you have any vacancies? It means, do you have any table for me? Do you have any free chairs or table that I can join in? Or in this lesson is about hotel. So do you have any vacancies? I mean, do you have any spare room? Do you have any room for me so I can sleep? Yeah. So that is mean the vacancy. It mean there's a place that you can eat, that you can sleep, or you can use. Okay? The same thing. Can you do it for me? I can guess this one easily, but I'll leave it to you. Try to look on page 72 and complete this task. Usually, I'll do one more for you if you found that challenging. We have, would you like something else, and double room. Usually double, we have another word for double, or the opposite of double is single, right? It starts with an S. I'm just guess. I'm not sure if it's correct. All right, so that's what you're gonna do. Try to do number 3 to number 11. I think it should not be a problem because you have a textbook, you have a course book to help you. And so that's it, done with activity number 2. Let's move on to grammar. Grammar in this part, as I mentioned, we're going to have 2 smaller parts. Part 1 is about going to, and the other part is infinitive of purpose. Usually I try to speak Vietnamese in this, but no, I'm not gonna do it this time. So let's start off with going to. First, we focus on form, how we're gonna use it correctly. So we have 3 forms, right? Positive, negative, and questions form. So look at here, the positive one. Usually we have subject, we have am, is, are, and going to, plus with the main verb. All right, so look at here, some example I've given to you. Yeah, I should change this one. Yeah, is I. Usually you say am, and sometimes the contraction form, or we don't say the full words, we say contracted. All right, is I'm, not I am, but I'm going to visit. This is the main verb, right? To the new customer. Or the same thing here, I go with am, he is or his or he is going to plus main verb right. Next, the next presentation. And the last example that I have here is they are, or contracted form is they're going to. Yeah, here is the main verb, work in Brazil. So that's easy. That's about the form. We just need the subject. We need subject, am is are depending on the subject. And we need going to. And the last one is about a verb. So subject, am is are, going to, and verb. Done. Easy. And for negative, it's also a lot easier. We have usually for the positive, we have subject, am, ers, and we have not. Alright, it's like the negative, going to, and we have main verb. So I'm gonna do it again. This is 5 times, right? 5 fingers. Subjects, MZR, not, going to, and verb. So that's the structure. Look at here. Look at the example. I am not, or I'm not going to take the job. So that's it. The same thing. That's very easy. She or he or it, we usually plus with is, right? She is not, or she isn't going to leave the company. And the last one, we are, or they are. We are not, or we aren't going to have a meeting about this. So that's done. Easy, nice and easy, everyone. So nothing difficult here. And for question, it's a lot easier than that. Look at here again, positive form. Positive form, right? We have subject, am, is, are, going to, and verb. This time we do different because we put, now again, it's not subject, and the here we have is subjects, and the are, we put it differently. Alright, we change the role. So can you do it? It's question word, not subject anymore, but question words, ams, er, subject right here, and going to, and verb. Okay, so question form a bit different. Well, first we have the question, right? Question words, and we have ams, is, are, and then subject, and then going to, and then verb. So that's done. Look at the example here, right? We do not have question words here, so just leave it out. We have am, is, are only. And then we have subject now is I, am, is, are, I, going to, come to the meeting, right? So that's it. Now we put the same thing here. We have question words right here. Question words, why, am, are is, subject is he, going to, and talk to the management. Done. Very easy. I told you that grammar is not nothing but easy, just very easy. And the last one is, are you going to visit the suppliers? That's done. So we basically done with grammar about going to. Extremely easy. And that is how you make positive sentence, negative sentence, and questions. Now let's move on how to answer the questions. There's one thing that you should remember, and that is don't repeat going to. So look at here, because we just only have like, you can answer the full sentence if you are able to, or you just simply give short answers only, like he isn't, he is, yes I am. For example, let's look at the example right here. The first person say, is he going to talk to management? No, he isn't. Are you going to visit the supplier? Yes, I am. Okay, so that's it. Don't say, yes, I am going to. Don't stop there. If you use going to, just say, yes, I am going to visit the suppliers. Yeah, that's it. One is you say it, make it full, include everything. Other than that, just say, yes, I am. Done. All right. So basically, that is about the form, how you use going to. And let's move on to the use. In going to, it, you use to talk about general plans or future or event, or just simply just think like I'm going to is mean I'm planning to. Sorry, just a little bit Vietnamese here. Tôi xin lỗi nói tiếng Việt một xíu. Cái cách sử dụng cái nghĩa của nó của going to nó bằng mọi người hiểu nó, nếu I'm planning to, đó là tôi lên kế hoạch sẽ làm gì đó xong. Alright, so I got back in English. That not necessarily a fixed time in the plan. You don't have to say like I'm going to travel to Toronto tomorrow. You don't have to say that. Or I'm going to visit Toronto in 2025. Don't have to. Just leave it there. You don't have to do that. If you would like, it's okay. But it's not a necessary. It's not a must. Alright, so that's everything. We're going to eat in the evening. We aren't going to eat out in the evening. Are you going to take Friday off? Yeah, so that's basically that everything about the going to. Now let's move to the second part is about infinitive of purpose. Infinitive of purpose, what is that? It's simply that you add an infinitive to say why you are doing something, the purpose, the reason why you do that. Okay, so what is that? I'll try to explain a little bit in Vietnamese only. Cái từ mà to, infinitive of purpose mọi người chỉ hiểu đơn giản nó là bằng với lại to cộng với lại verb. Có nghĩa là gì? Có nghĩa là gì ạ? To cộng verb có nghĩa là mình nói cái gì đó rồi thì mình muốn diễn tả tại sao mình lại làm điều đó. Nó luôn luôn mọi người lưu ý nhé, nó sẽ có một cái gọi là một vế đi trước, một câu đi trước nó để diễn tả cái mục đích của câu đó. For example, we are going to meet our supplier. Yeah, chúng ta sẽ gặp. Chúng ta sẽ gặp được nhà phân phối, nhà cung cấp của chúng ta. Để làm gì? Why? Tại sao mình phải gặp nhà cung cấp của mình làm gì? Bởi vì, đúng không? Để thảo luận về giá. Thì mục tiêu của từ infinitive of purpose là nó giải thích cái câu trên của mình. Mọi người lưu ý cái đó nhé. So I'll try to use English again. I'm not gonna use Vietnamese anymore. The same thing here. They are going to spend a day in New York for what? Why they spend a day in New York? To find a new office. They explain, they give an explanation clearly. Why did they do that? Alright, it's the same thing here. I'm going to leave the office at 3 p.m. Why you leave the office at 3 p.m.? Usually we leave at 5. To collect my wife from the airport. Or to pick my wife up at the airport. Because my wife just arrived back. She's traveling and now she's back. So I need to pick her up. That's the reason, right? You try to explain the action that you mentioned earlier. Done. Alright, so that's the two main grammar points. Now, to check that you understand it clearly, I want you to use the do the activities. One is mean in this activity you are using the prompt. There are some words that given to you, and you need to use going to make it a complete sentence. So you need to do 6 sentences right here. So please go ahead, do it, and this is your chance. Okay, I'll do the first one with you to make it easier for you so you can do it. They remember the form. This is positive form, right? So we have subject, MCR, going to, and we have verb. So they are going to visit their customer. Done. Alright, so that's it. The first sentence. Can you please help me do number 2 and number 6? Okay. And when you're done with activity number 1, please move on to activity number 2. Here the same thing with activity number 1 in vocab builder. What you need to do is you try to match from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You match with A, B, C, D, E, F. Match them to create 6 sentences, and it has meaning, it makes sense. Okay, so that's things in activity number 2. And activity number 3, there are some mistakes in these sentences. Can you please correct them? Alright, if try to write the correct one that you think, and send it back to me. I'll grade your work. We have 8 sentences, right? Try to do that. And so please do it, and I will move on to part 3. In part 3 is about key expression we use when we're eating out at a restaurant. So let's do with the first part. The first one is very easy. Look at this. Activity number 1, cross out, which means you crosses out, right? He cross out the one incorrect response in from 1 to 4 or in 1 to 4. They ask, how was the meal? It was very nice, thanks. Very delicious. Delicious, thanks. So what do you think it could be? Crosses out, all right? Because 2, we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that 1 incorrect. Just cross 1 only. Don't cross 2, all right? And the same thing here. Can I have the bill, please? Sounds good. Certainly. Sure. Which one? If it's not good, just cross it out, okay? So that's what you need to do. And in activity number 2, I have here is 2 dialogues. It's just 1 dialogue, but it's separate in 2 parts. This is scenes 1, part 1. Try to complete the conversation with the correct words. Where is the word? All right. So what you need to do is you try to. So in this part, what you're going to do is you're gonna use refer to back to our course book on page 76. All right. Use refer. All right. Or use or refer to page 76 on our course book, and you try to complete this. But I think before you use the course book, try to do it first. For example, I will do with you first. Hello, are you ready to order? Because the theme, this lesson is about eating out, right? So, are you ready to order? Yes, thanks. I'll have spaghetti bolognese, please. Yes, that's it. So please, before you use, you look at our course book on page 76. Please try to do it first. And when you run out of ideas, you can just look at a page and complete it yourself. If you're not sure about your answers, just give it back to me. I'll give you the answer. All right, so that's it. We have 2 parts. This is part 1, part 2. The answer is always on page 76, but try to do it first. And in the last part, there are another 2 conversations that you have to do it. You're gonna put them in order. For example, they have been shuffled. They are in incorrect order. What you need to do is rearrange these sentences to make it a meaningful conversation. So the same thing here. Try to do it first. I'll give it back to you. I will always help you. I'm always back you, so you don't have to worry about you doing correctly or not. So basically, that's everything that I have for you. And in the very, very last part, as usual, you're gonna put the word, the phrases in part 3. Put them in the correct categories. Which phrases or sentence used to offer, to ask information, to request, respond, or talk about food. Put them in appropriate category. Okay, so that's basically everything I have for you. And this time it's a bit different because I use completely English. So I hope that you can do and understand my instruction. I hope that I go see you in class and we'll discuss more about this. That's it. Cheers, mate. Gonna see you in class. Bye bye.